Alright, so another video of football tactics in Glory World. We're going to put the focus back on feedback for Creo Team, just because that's really the purpose of these videos overall. So we're not really going to go in detail with anything. You know, Creo Team is a studio, so they're going to understand pretty much what I'm talking about. So if you're joining along as a player, you may be lost in a few situations. I might explain things off the cuff, but that's not really my focus at this point. It's really just feedback for Creo Team proper. They're going to be looking at a lot of different situations that they want us to test, a lot of things that are worth pointing out for them, and then they can kind of use that information as they normally do. So we'll be continuing the campaign format just because they do want us to test the campaign. They want to see what it would look like if a player was playing through a campaign as opposed to testing individual things like they're doing in Office. So the first thing I'm going to mention is the idea of nationality bonuses impacting the transfer market. You can see I have Donahue here, who is a Scottish player, dual class player, both a wing forward and a central forward. Pretty solid player, probably my best striker. And I've gotten an offer to sell him for almost 500,000, let's call it dollars. We'll use that as the currency. Now, generally in this situation, if you're looking at manager's journey, the nationality wouldn't really matter at all. You know, I would just look at his stats. I would look at his skills. I'd look at any roles that he plays in terms of his classes. And then I would kind of grade that on whether or not I should sell him, right? But the fact that the nationality bonus is coming to play here actually makes a huge difference, because you can see that he's a Scottish player who's not really going to be able to capitalize on that bonus, which is planning ahead. So I don't think he's really going to be able to hold the ball during his turn, and then that means he's not going to get to utilize the bonus. So as a Scottish player, he's pretty useless. So that alone kind of gives me a mark against him. And then when I look at what we have in the transfer market right now, I see another two forward that actually have a solid footballing culture, and they're actually built to take advantage of it. So you see we have two forwards here who are both from Belgium. They get active tackle, so that means their defense is actually going to get boosted. And that makes them way more attractive from a footballing culture perspective in comparison to Donahue, because I can immediately see how I'll be able to take advantage of their abilities. So really, those things alone kind of sway my decision here when it comes to choosing whether or not to sell Donahue and how to approach the transfer market. They're also in his same age bracket, and I'm also doing a rebuild right now because my team is getting older. So it makes a lot of sense to make that sale. You know, I'll get two forwards that are able to use every bonus that they have, and the cost is going to be one very good forward who's a dual class player, but he's not really going to be able to take advantage of his footballing culture very well. So that alone will kind of give me the push I need to actually make that decision. Of course, it's also a lot of money, so that doesn't hurt, but I mean, he's also a really good player. But that footballing culture definitely plays a huge role as well. So I'm going to get two more foreigners. I'm also getting two other non-Scottish players. So as you know, we have that nationality limit for the teams. When you're fielding a team, they have to have a certain number of nationals. Otherwise, it's not a valid team and you automatically lose. That's also kind of impacting it. I've gotten two Belgian players or players from Belgium, but now my squad, has more and more foreigners. So even though they're really good, I have to be aware of the fact that there's a penalty right there, and I'm going to have to take it into consideration, right? So it's really cool to see how the footballing culture impact that transfer market layer in those different ways. I know you guys wanted to see how it might play out in a real campaign. And as I'm kind of going through this campaign, now that I have a bunch of other players from Europe, from various European countries, I'm definitely starting to see how it impacts my decision making. And I can see that being true no matter where I play. When we get more footballing cultures, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same for Africa, Asia, the Americas. As you kind of mix and match different players from the transfer market in various countries, these are also decisions that you're going to have to take into consideration. Yeah, so let's get into the match. It's going to be part 2 here. We're just going to play a match to round it out. Going to be pretty high level because the whole purpose is really the feedback for Creo team. As I spoke about last time, this team is getting older. You can see a few guys here are higher up there in age. We did play the first match where the goal was to improve the younger players that we have. So we lost that 1-0, but I feel like losing early is more important. I also like the fact that we have 4 years here, talking about the different aspects of the game. We're going to promote in 4 years, which gives us some leeway. You know, if I'm a player and I'm struggling in the first 2 years, as long as I avoid relegation, it's not that bad. And then in the last 2 years, I can make a run for promotion. There's also the reality, as we all know, that even if you don't get promoted, you know, you still have the opportunity to stay with the team, you know, stay with the club and get another contract, which is really nice. I like the fact that it's not just binary. It's either you do it or you don't, you succeed or you fail. There are also a lot of in-betweens, right? And this is also the team that I started with, so if I check the career, you know, I've been using them forever, so they're going to be more lenient than another team that I may have jumped on, you know, during my coaching career, right? So I like that a lot. I think that's actually pretty neat. You know, I've actually played other games that have actually mimicked this system. Recently, I was helping out with one where they pretty much lifted this Full Sail, but even that's not nearly as detailed or fleshed out as this, where I can aim for a goal. I may not hit it, but even if I don't hit it, there's another entity out there who will actually talk to me and he'll say, you know, you didn't get it this time. You know, maybe that one was too difficult. Maybe you can do this one and I'll give you a lower reward and whatnot. So that's very nice. And it really helps you feel like it's an organic, living, breathing world and not just like a game where you're just checking off things on a list, you know? Yeah, so let's get into the game. Again, kind of building up the team. You can see I grabbed these 2 players for Donahue, I think it was, who was a wing forward. They're a very solid player. They're also fairly young. They also slot in well with what I'm aiming to do. So you're going to see me take out a lot of these older players now because they're just over the hill. They're not really going to help me win. And I'm going to slot in these younger guys just because they have more room to grow, right? For example, Lindsay's giftedness level 1. He's pretty much capped out at 24. When he hits 25, I think that's pretty much the cap in terms of experience gain. Level 30 is really the limit, but I tend to treat the 30% penalty or the 30% ceiling as when they really plateau, if you understand what I mean. We're going to play the younger players, right? And we're going to see how they slot in. Again, this is a great team for my type of play. Just the fact that they have such high defense is going to make it really tough for the defense on the other end to play the ball forward. And they're going to do exactly what I need them to do. We're going to have a few CDs here. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to take out Kinley. I think I bought this guy as well. I just didn't cover it in part 1, but I did buy him too for similar reasons. He's young. He's also fairly good. He has a solid skill. You know, he's kind of working on my defense here. The only difference here is the fact that I don't have fullback. So you can kind of see that I don't really have anybody in front anymore. I'm kind of playing that T formation. So it's going to be a little more difficult to deal with in that sense. I'm also going to need to be very careful because they do have a midfielder with cannon shot. Pretty good midfielder for being a giftedness level 1 player, honestly. But then he's 32. You know, I really like the fact that you can generally tell when a player is old based on their giftedness and their development. Like, this guy is really good for a giftedness level 1 player, so I can kind of tell immediately that he's pretty old. And then lo and behold, I can go there and check it. That's pretty neat. So it's really nice that you can kind of tell off the cuff, you can tell those different sorts of things. And then, of course, we will be, let's see, there are a few other changes I might want to make here. We're going to take out Hammerich and we're going to put in Hani just in case, because we still want to win if we can. But, you know, we're focused on training. So again, Belgium, as you know, active defense plus 30 to tackling. And all of these guys are actually really good. I have a lot of players from Belgium. This guy's from Belgium as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like when we get more footballing culture. I don't know when that's coming, But you can just see how just looking at this ability makes a huge difference. And then I'm not sure if this applies to the auto tackle that CDs do, because I'm not sure if that's a tackle ability. If that's true, it's gonna be really strong because he's gonna have even more defense when he tackles as a CD. So they're also gonna be prime candidates as CDs. So it's actually really interesting to me. We're gonna start the match. We're gonna play it out. Again, it's gonna be a very high level because Creo team, it's really feedback for you guys. We're gonna play in the red, I think. And as you know, we have the general campaign rules where I can't see what's going on. Again, I would like to see the formation before the kickoff. It might seem superficial, but I do feel like constantly clicking in to see gets kind of annoying after a while. But you know, your mileage may vary. I don't think it's a deal breaker, but it would be nice. Also, something I didn't mention is the fact that the suitable footballers is coming into play now. So you guys know that we have that option where teams have to have a certain number of nationals in order to be viable. Otherwise, they automatically lose. You can see this team is just on the limit. I have seven of 6 Scottish players. And then I have everyone else is from a different country. So even though I just got a nice little set of players from Belgium, it's not like I can fill my team with all of these foreigners. Unless I change the setting or something. But this is the default setting that you guys have. I think it's pretty interesting because it's kind of like European football today, you know? I'm in Europe right now. This is a really good test bed for this feature, given that most of the cultures are in Europe. And Europe is going to be the place where I kind of want to mix and match my roster. So I want guys from different countries to do different things. I want this guy from Germany. I want this guy from Belgium. You know, I want someone from England, etc. So now I really need to start worrying about this. I need to make sure that I always have enough Scottish players to avoid this automatic loss. If it's going to be a less powerful team, I still need to keep that in mind. But I also need to train with that in mind. I need to use the transfer market with that in mind. I need to make decisions, strategic decisions, managerial decisions with that in mind. So it's really, really cool. Let's play the match and see how we do. Again, it's a training match. I would like to win, but it's not necessary at this point in time. Really, the main thing is to avoid a significant loss, you know? That's the biggest thing we need to worry about because we're still early in the season. Here we are taking advantage of active defense, right? I also like the fact that we see it on the pop-up. That's really useful. You know, this game has a lot of information. And, you know, when you have a game that has significant amounts of information, you really need to be able to present it to the user. Again, the best example I think I've ever seen is Crusader Kings. I started with Crusader Kings 3. I think Crusader Kings 2 does it as well. But that game gives you information on literally everything. And it's in this really nice format where you can check tooltips and you can hover over them. It will lock the pop-up and then you can check a tooltip in the next pop-up and it'll be like nested pop-ups. It's great. This is probably the game that does it the second best, where it's kind of just on the fly. I don't need to go into an encyclopedia like it's Civilization and look up terms. It's just relevant to the situation. I'm going to tackle. You know, that's his defense. That's plus 30% of his defense because of his nationality bonus. It's telling me about the nationality bonus. It's giving me the final total. If I wanted to find out what's happening, I can click a button and it tells me about the action taking place. It's really great. I think regardless of the size of the studio, this is actually a phenomenal work because it doesn't matter if you're a AAA company or you're a single man dev or whatever. If there is a feature that's really well done or really poorly done, I think it's worth mentioning because if it's poorly done, you can improve it. And if it's well done, you should be lauded for it or praised for it. And that's definitely something that many games don't do very well. I've played a lot of games. I've played complicated games. I've played simple games. Very few of them give you information on the fly like that. Very few of them give you full information in game. And then even fewer of them give you information on the fly like that. You know, I've played games where you have to kind of look up terms and type things out and look for specific things. But this game gives you information literally on the fly, depending on what's happening. So if I wanted to hold the ball, you know, I don't even have to click anything. I just have to hover over something and it tells me literally everything that happens. You know, this game has a small community, but if I'm a new player, I never need to go to the Discord or Steam and ask how something works. I can just check it. And that's actually amazing. Yeah, so again, you guys deserve a whole lot of credit for that. It doesn't matter if people recognize how amazing it is or not. It is definitely laudable, for sure. Yeah, he's going to come and try to slide tackle. I have a good opportunity to keep the ball, though, because I am a better player than he is. And now they're in a bit of a sticky situation, right? I can now take a shot on goal. I have a few options. They have CDs, so I can do two different things. I can get into position here, swap position, and do that. I can either take a straight shot because they have CDs, so I can take a shot, normal shot, or I can just take a cannon shot, right? Gonna do the cannon shot because that makes more sense, and we're gonna go ahead and continue. And we're off to a good start. I think that's the better play, to just play it over there and take the shot, yeah. It's not a strong shot, but at least they'll get it through. You can also see they have Earl, who's from England. He's going to be a very big threat. He's going to kind of have that aggressive physicality, which isn't great for me. I'm going to get out of the box. I'm also going to lob it, I think, just to kind of play it forward. And then we're going to take the ball with, let's see, Hansen has good control. So again, we're looking to get this team trained up, so we're going to get it to Hansen. He's going to come and try to win the ball. That's okay. We don't mind that. That's perfectly fine. Now we can actually show off this new ability for the forwards. Again, active defense, going to be really good. So it's 37 plus 30%. I masked it wrong, so it's actually an additional 11, it looks like. So 37 to 48, that's actually huge for a forward. You know, if I wanted to make it even more certain, I can do something like probably that to press, and then I can try to win the ball. And then you guys had mentioned this as well. The fact that it shows weak here isn't because he has zero control. It's because of the way the roll calculations work. So since I'm using decreased plus, you know, we have those variable floors and ceilings based on the giftedness of the player. He's weak because no matter what he rolls, I'm guaranteed to win the ball, just because of how this is set up. So he has a maximum of 10. You know, no matter what I roll, I can never roll below 10 because I'm giftedness level 2. So basically, I can never roll below, 20% of 37 or something like that? So basically, my minimum roll can never be lower than his maximum roll, which is why he's weak. And that's why that shows up, which is, it makes a lot of sense for sure. I think it makes a lot of sense. And then we'll do that. So again, high level stuff. If you're along for the ride, thanks for joining in, but this is primarily for Creo Team. A lot of it is going to be focused on providing them details and information, more so than anything else, right? Which again seems odd, but for me, in order for me to do this and not feel like I'm wasting my time, there has to be a purpose to it. And Creo Team has always kind of appreciated the feedback, provided comments and stuff. So, you know, we'll be focusing on them. They've also given me beta access, and this is literally why I'm playing the game before any of the rest of you, right? It's not early access. It's literally to do the work. You want access, give us information, play it in a way that we wouldn't play it. Let us see how a player doing a full campaign might play the game, and then we'll look at any bugs or anything that need to be tightened up and whatnot. Give us suggestions that we may not have thought of. We'll consider it. Sometimes we'll add them in. They have added in some of my suggestions already. They've also shot down a lot of suggestions as well. So I don't mind it. It goes both ways, just so you know. But yeah, it's going to be focused on them, you know? And we can see they're changing the formation. Again, the AI in this game is very smart. For a tactical game, it is incredibly smart. I've played quite a few that have AI on a similar level. But in terms of being like a sports game with 11 versus 11 players and being aware of all the various moves that can be made and whatnot, AI is very smart. I'd say the closest I've seen in terms of really good AI in comparison to this is a game called Battle Brothers, which is a game I like a lot. It's from Overhyped Studios. It's like a turn-based combat game. We kind of build up a mercenary company and go on adventures and stuff, and you need to build your reputation and all sorts of stuff. It's a pretty cool game. It also has AI that's incredibly intelligent for a turn-based game with all the different actions you can take, and can be really tough to make really smart AI. But these two games have probably been the best I've seen. And again, I probably play way too many games, you know? I've been playing games since I was like, what, 5? And I'm in my 30s now. So yeah, just to give you an idea. And as time goes on, I get a greater and greater appreciation for what the devs have been able to do. You know, when you're younger, you don't really care about what's going on in a game like Mario. When you get older, you can kind of appreciate how they've implemented the side scrolling and use the screen space and all this other stuff. So it's pretty neat. Yeah, but he has the ball. I'm not really worried about him. Right now, I'm going to see if I can take advantage of the fact that I have forwards up here. I'm going to go ahead and try to win the ball with him. Should be pretty easy. Oh, he's motivated. That's not good. He's also a defender. This is actually going to be tough. So I'm actually going to play it differently. I'm going to move over here because he's motivated. Keep it away from him because he's starting to run out of stamina. You know, obviously low stamina, not great. They have a fullback, so they went ahead and suppressed me to guarantee the win. He got the ball, but he is now tired. I'm going to go ahead and press. Again, I'm going to take advantage of these forwards with their ability to use active press, active tackle, which is a great ability. I need to be careful, though, because I can probably win the ball with him, but he's also tired. So I don't want a situation where I win the ball, he gets tackled, and he's out of the game. But at the same time, I want to keep possession of the ball, so it's pretty tough. So again, he's weak because there's no way I can roll lower than him. He's a fullback, but he's going to be out of position, so he can't contribute to the challenge. I'm going to get 64 control because I'm a forward. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to get fouled, I figured. Because he's tired and I'm tired, in that situation, as you know, fouls are more likely. So it's a bit of a risk, but I did want to keep possession of the ball, though, so that's the only thing. So I was willing to take that risk, right? Sometimes you have to be willing to take that risk. It is football. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out. Really depends. Let's go ahead and make a change because, as we know, he's starting to get tired and we don't want him getting injured. We're going to play the ball forward, I think. Let's see what we're going to do here. We have 3 potential actions we can take. We also have a goalkeeper who has fairly low control. So we have a few potential, we have some opportunities here, right? Is the point I'm trying to make. We do have quite a few opportunities here. Let's actually make another change. Let's take out, we want McNee to stay in. Let's take out him. Let's put you in. It's going to seem kind of front loaded, but there's a reason for this, right? Because we're about to play it from the back to the front. We're going to take out, we're going to put Heimer over here because he has long pass. We're going to play, let's see, Hawni here. And we're going to put McNee here. And we're going to go for the cross, right? Because their goalkeeper doesn't have great control. Of course, he's there. Again, as you guys know, crossing from outside of the box has been nerfed. So if you're crossing from the third towel, generally for those long headers, it's going to be way more difficult. Like, for example, you'd have to be here, which is the third column or the third row. Headers from here have been nerfed significantly, so you kind of need to get into a position like this. You need like direct attacks, you need corner kicks, you need direct free kicks. You need to get on the second and first rows to really benefit, get the maximum benefit from head play now. I'm going to go for the cross. Oh, he saved it. Very nice. That's okay. Again, we're in a great situation because now we're attacking the goal. We're going to go ahead and play, let's see. We're going to cross with McNee. We're going to go for the head play again, I think. Now, what they're probably going to do is they're going to put him there. So I want to see if I can what's the word? Encourage them to fight in the box instead. Yeah, they're going to do that, but he's going to go there for sure. Yeah, definitely. One thing I have noticed is the fact that the AI can take spots in the box without fighting for a spot. So for example, he just stood there. If I wanted to do that, I would have to fight him for a spot. So I'm wondering why we can't do that too. Sometimes I just don't want to fight for a spot in the box, but I still have to aim for somebody. It'd be nice if I could just say, you can keep that spot. I want to hold this spot and that's it. So I'd like to see that as an option if possible. If not the end of the world, but it's just noticeable to me. go for the cross. We can also go for the pass, which is another option I tend to take as well. You know, put a player with good control into the box and then try to hold position and take a shot. So I might do that as well, especially since he has 113. So we're going to go ahead and do that. He's guaranteed to get the ball, so I don't mind doing that. And then we'll probably, I don't know if we're going to take the shot. We can also play it back. Thinking about it. They do have Earl right there. So I feel like Earl's going to get the ball. He's going to run up. He's going to slide tackle. He's going to pass to somebody, and they're going to take a shot. Now, Gilmore might actually keep it because he's 11. You know, he has 11 potential. He also gets some experience. That's a weird choice. Okay. That's a strange choice. But he got some experience as well. That's not a bad thing, right? And now let's see what we're going to do here. We can take a shot on goal if we really want to. We can also go for a cross. We can be in the same position again. It really depends on what I want. We have some options for sure. I'm actually thinking about Kelman here. So I think we're going to switch it up. We're going to pass with, we're going to take him out and we're going to put Kelman in now. Yeah, we're going to take you out and put Kelman in. See if we can get another goal. Let's go ahead and take you out, guy. Yeah, that's fine. And we did that because, as you know, attacking midfielders get they have a lower penalty to shoot from range. That makes more sense for them. And then we're going to go ahead and use probably, who's a good one? We're looking at this stuff now. Gilmore's the guy. So Gilmore's going to pass it. We're going to put Scarf there. And then we're going to, that's fine. We'll just do that. Pass to Kelman. You know, Kelman's going to have like minus 25 or something instead of, well, minus 10% instead of minus 20. He has a decent opportunity on goal. In these cases, I'll use a precision shot because I have to shoot through a defender. I'll do that. And he saves it, but that's fine. That's a 1-0 win. That's a decent win. We had at least 2 more opportunities to score, but we only got that 1 goal. We'll take it. And we got some decent training, right? So the matches are always going to be longer than the strategic side, because when it comes to the strategic end, what I'm doing is I'm looking at a recording when I talk over the strategic end. So it's going to be a little shorter, but I'm playing through the matches because I find that playing through the matches is easier. It's easier to kind of talk about what I'm thinking about. So I'm going to be doing it like that.